Hello and welcome back to another Bachelorette recap episode from yours truly, Grace Baldridge, and of course Asher, joined by my friend here and co-conspirator when it comes to Bachelorette stuff. We are down to the wire. Hometowns are coming up, but 2 guys got sent home this week. So without further ado, Asher, break down the themes of this past week's episode. What happened?
I think the themes were that they were in a really boring-looking part of Switzerland. That was kind of a bummer, right? Switzerland doesn't seem that boring. I don't know. But also, just if the connection isn't there yet and the guys aren't willing to be totally open and honest, and if Rachel isn't feeling it, it's time to go home. And she also another theme, she hates the rose ceremony.
Hates the rose ceremony.
Avoids it like the plague.
Yep. And I would say another theme for this episode was that the budget was a little bit down, or a couple things got canceled for the dates, because one of the dates was church in a language that neither of the daters spoke, which is not a fun date.
And I don't think that either of them are Catholic, and yet they went to a Catholic mass. Because in The Bachelor, she took Nick to her hometown church, which is not a Catholic church. So they're both like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Let's go get coffee and donuts
afterwards. Stay for the coffee hour, for sure. And then you had the producers being like, does anyone speak English? And then there's a sweet older couple that was, we do a little bit. And it was just, that's what it was.
40 years.
So what else do we got this episode, Asher?
So we had 3 one-on-one dates and 1 group date for the final cut.
3 one-on-one dates. Those one-on-one dates went to Brian. We're going to get into why he sucks. Peter. And Deanie Baby.
Deanie
McDean Face. And then the group date was Eric, Adam, and Matt. But if you couldn't remember the names Adam and Matt, forget them. Or now that you remembered them, please forget them because they got sent home. Spoiler alert, just kidding. This is a recap show, so it doesn't matter. So let's talk about the one-on-one dates.
Okay.
So the first one was with Brian. He is by far the front runner at this point. They have this insane connection. She is buying all of the bullshit that he speaks. I think that the guys are onto him too. I think especially Dean is acutely aware of this guy is a Rico Suave sort of person, and he knows what to say to the women, and he, I think, is playing Rachel very well. I think he likes Rachel, but I think he also just likes being in love and getting attention from girls. I think that that's who he is. We're going to throw up right now some...
Hey, Haas.
Hi, Haas.
Are you guys shooting?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, fuck.
This is actually great because Hasan is a soon-to-be candidate on The Bachelorette, so we're very excited. He's making his... Oh, God, don't you duck down.
Oh, God.
Duck Dynasty over here. Here he is. This is your next Bachelor. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Where did the fidget spinner go?
It's by the okay.
It's the most millennial question you've ever asked. Where did the fidget spinner go?
Sick moves, bruh.
Yeah, sick moves, bruh.
I'm out.
Bye, Haas.
Bye.
Anyway, so Brian.
Oh, so we're gonna throw up some photos that we took from Brian's Instagram because I think that this sort of puts a fine point on why he just gets under my skin a little bit. He has been pushing this weird detox laxative tea scam.
Flat tummy tea.
Well, it's some off-brand flat tummy tea. Not even the real flat tummy tea, Brian. And he's been pushing it since before he was on the show. Usually, pushing things on Instagram is, your lucrative sponsorship deal comes after the show and you're like, oh, this could just be my job. But before the show?
Right. That's a sign that you're on the show for ulterior motives.
I don't know. I think that he kind of believes his own hype. I just think I think he's one of those guys that just says all the right things because he says all the right things. It doesn't feel like there's a genuine bone in his body. Now, Peter, that's a genuine guy.
Oh, oozing with genuine handsomeness.
I do think that the editors really played us this week because last week they showed this clip, they edited it really heavily where it was saying something along the lines of, she has tears in her eyes and I hold myself responsible for that. And that wasn't anything to do with Rachel. They made it seem like he made Rachel cry.
Right.
He didn't make Rachel cry.
No, he was talking about a past relationship. They do it every week, and I get sucked in every week. I'm like, oh, how could Peter even try to break her heart? And then,
No.
nope, the date went well. He opened up about a past relationship. So they're now closer than ever.
Yep. Dean's
That's it.
date. What's your take on that one?
Dean's date was super awkward. He was avoiding kind of opening up. I think his mind was too much focused on the hometown, or at least the editors led us to believe that. And he kind of mentioned something about the fact that his dad is very eccentric. He wasn't really there for him, after his mother passed away.
This is what I like about Dean, too, that I think we saw on his date. Yeah, he is an awkward guy, I think, and when he was really pushed to have this intimate connection where there was a lot of pressure for that to happen, for a spark to fly on this one-on-one date, you could tell that he was feeling a little uncomfortable with it. But he's surrounded by cameras. That is a very authentic way to be if you were surrounded by cameras with this girl that you pretty much know a little bit, but you don't know that well. And you have all these people watching you, sort of egging you on to say the right thing or to make the right move. Camera people, PAs, producers that know you, and you kind of feel like you have to deliver these lines. It's an uncomfortable situation to be in, and his reaction was very endearing to me because he was diffusing the situation with humor, which is totally normal and something I take to.
Right.
And I think that's the difference between a Dean and a Brian. Brian sees the cameras on him and he's like, oh, I'm going to deliver these lines. Like, watch me go. Ooh, I'm such a Casanova. Whereas Dean is like, this is kind of a weird situation, and how about I just ask you what your favorite dinosaur is? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, down the line, he opened up and got more comfortable on the one-on-one date. But it's weird to just out the gate give her a hug and be like, you are the sun and the moon in my life. Like, who says that? I mean, he didn't actually. Brian didn't say that. But just it's awkward, and I like when they acknowledge that.
Right. You know what? He could have also been tripped up by the Catholic mass that they went to on their date.
Yep. Yeah, that doesn't. I would say that.
That guilt, I don't know.
You can say a lot of things about Catholicism. I wouldn't say that it is the most romantic Christian denomination.
Right. Maybe the guilt is sexy. I don't know. Anyway, so after that, we end the day with a group date with Eric, Adam, and Matt, aka Penguin Dude, and they all go to France and just sit outside of a mansion, waiting to get taken away. But there is a beautiful moment with Matt, who I liked ever since he showed up in a penguin suit. I feel like he never really got his moment.
Get his edit.
He didn't get his.
There was definitely. So here's what you can see with Matt and Rachel in that interaction is that they definitely had some sort of a connection. I would say like a friendship type bond that was occurring probably on camera and off camera, but it didn't really make the edit because it wasn't compelling television because there wasn't a romantic spark there. But she was obviously very connected to him through moments that we just didn't get to see. So she had probably her most tearful goodbye with Matt, more so than Adam later on in the date, because she knew that she had to let him go, but he had become sort of her companion along the trip. And while there wasn't, I really don't think there was a romantic connection there.
Right.
She recognized this as someone that she could trust, someone that was never involved in any drama, and someone that was just comfortable for her to be around. And usually we see in a Bachelor and Bachelorette history, there's always someone that makes it really far, and we as the viewers are like, why is this person making it far? And it's because there's a companionship, friendship connection that's been formed where you want them around for comfort, and I think that's where Matt fell this season. And I'm sure that we'll see in the Men Tell All that he's going to say something along those lines. There's like, oh, our moments didn't make it in, but we had a great time together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he was always incredibly sweet, and I was always happy to see him there, so it was really sad to see him go, but it was a beautiful moment that they shared saying goodbye to each other. And
Asher,
really
do you
nice.
like Matt?
I love Matt.
I've never seen you.
Secret favorite.
Matt.
He's always there. He's always smiling. Looks like a nice, harmless dude.
Matt with a non-existent last name.
Matt.
Give this one a call.
Hey, penguin guy.
Hey, penguin guy. So then we move on to the date. She has an interaction with Adam that is very awkward, but also a reason why we love Rachel as the Bachelorette. Very badass. He just says, can you see yourself falling in love with me? And she says, yeah, that's why you're still here. Just,
Yeah. Very quick, not indulging.
Not indulging at all. And then she sends him home.
Yeah, because he just kind of talks about himself. I don't know. He just gave off kind of a gross vibe, and you can always tell when someone's going home because they start to talk about, like, I don't understand why all these other guys are here, or like, I don't understand why I'm not getting the time of day. Like, oh, well, that's sounds like you're going home
Sort
soon.
of fight or flight mode is what usually
Right.
happens. And the way that a lot of guys or girls in the show will want to try and stay is by throwing other people under the bus, being like, there are things you don't know. And I think that a lot of the guys, it really seems that the guys see through Brian and his very just corny and cheesy exterior, and I'm hoping that someone calls him out for that. So I think that Adam definitely thought that that was something he could tie himself to, and maybe that would save him. But at this point, dude, she loves kissing Brian too much. And you guys, I don't know if
he must have a magic tongue, because she is all about Brian.
Yeah.
And he's very okay.
Now, she gave the rose to Eric, which is good and bad. Good because I think Eric really likes her. Bad because I think Eric really likes her, and I don't think that he's gonna get that far.
No.
I think he might be the next one to go.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, obviously, yeah, we'll see what happens in the hometown. But he just really, in this last episode, was incredibly sweet to her, really opened up, and also just seemed like the sweetest guy in the world. And you're like, no, he's probably not gonna make it.
Yeah, like he's doing a great job at keeping his focus where it needs to be. It kind of was all over the place in the beginning because of all the other guys and all the other egos. But he sat down with her and he said, look, this is about you. You deserve to be here. I know that this is a really difficult process, and I just, I don't think that you give yourself enough credit for what you're doing. Like, yeah, this is hard for us, but we'll get over it. You're gonna have to live with these decisions, and I mean, I guess they will too, but that sort of stigma isn't gonna really follow around contestants in the way that it will follow around her choices. Like, that's
right.
People are watching her under a microscope right now, and yeah, I just don't think that she's as into him. So I think that he or Dean will be the next ones to go, and I think our finale will probably be between Brian and Peter, and if there is a god, then she will choose Peter.
Yeah.
But if there is not a god, then Brian McCheekyface will win.
Yeah, Cheeks McQueen? Cheeks McQueen?
Cheeks McQueen. Asher, predictions for our hometown episode next week?
I'm very excited about the hometown episode. I feel like it's going to be Rachel's. Will we see Rachel's hometown in the next episode, do you think?
I don't know. They showed a clip of her family,
right.
So maybe that's in another episode. I'm not sure exactly what's happening.
Yeah, so I would say if we go to her hometown, I think that's when we're going to start to see the cracks in Brian. And he's right.
Someone's got to call him out for that cheeseball act.
Yeah, so it seems like that's gonna happen. It's gonna get real weird with Dean and whatever the heck's going on with his dad. Seems like there's a lot of very, very awkward emotion happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a really awkward, painful, brutal episode to get through, and I'm nervous about it.
We're
That's
down
my
to the
prediction.
wire. So we want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Who do you think is our front runner? Who do you think is the next to be eliminated? Whose team are you on, regardless of all that stuff? You team Brian? You team Peter? You team Deanie Baby? You team Eric? Or are you just team Rachel and you're just enjoying watching? Whatever the case, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.